I think sometimes God knows that some of us need to be shown that we can do this quickly or else we'll move on. I don't know if you're like that, like me. I need to be shown quickly that something good, because other than that, I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah,
like I'm like, okay, well, God, well, what else do you have for me? Because this is not working, you know.
Yeah.
Now, some of that is a patience thing I need to work on.
But no, it's human. It's human. It makes sense.
Yeah, and so I feel like he shows people sometime relatively early on that, hey, this is working and you should keep going, work harder.
You know what it's like?
Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like the preview showing you that the movie's gonna be good. Like, I promise, if you come to the movie, it's good. This is the previews.
Yeah.
Now, this is the previews I'm showing you.
Yeah.
Now, after that, I'm gonna snatch it back.
Yeah.
And now we're not gonna come out to 2026, 2027, 2028. But you gotta be ready when the movie drops.
It's giving Game of Thrones. It's coming out in 2 years. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lish Speaks, and welcome to another episode of my podcast, I'll Just Let Myself In. It's the podcast where we don't wait for an imaginary permission slip or some seat at an imaginary table. We walk through our God-given doors, and we bring people on this podcast, right, who have made a way for themselves through their own talent. This doesn't mean they didn't rely on any faith or have any help, but it simply means they decided that they wouldn't wait and that they would walk through their doors. And today's guest really needs no introduction, but I'm gonna introduce him just so y'all know. Today, we have an influencer, which for me feels like that title is even just a little beneath you, I'm gonna be honest. But a content creator, an influencer who really allows our brothers, our men, to see themselves through the lens of presenting better. He believes that when you look good, you feel good. And he shows people how to do that for their body types through his friends, through his other content creators that he works with. He shows people how to, take care of their hair, take care of their skin, and shows them how to love their families while doing it. Now, listen, this may sound like just a little something, just a little cute thing that people may look at, but I want to tell you, 1.2 million people are looking at it on Instagram. 1.9 million are looking at it on TikTok. And well over 500,000 people are looking at it on YouTube. So my guest, Trey Bryant, is doing something right. Trey, welcome to the couch.
That was just incredible. That was incredible. That may be like top two and not two.
Listen, I try.
Yeah,
I try to
dope.
give people their flowers and their just due as they come on the couch. Today, we're going to be talking about into influence and really kind of diving into some of the lessons you've learned on this journey. Some of the things that make you, right? And make you influential, because what I found about most influencers, myself included, is that we're normally influential people before we got in front of people, right? Whether you were a class president in the 5th grade or all your friends just always cared what you thought about their outfits, like it's usually in you, right? Not on you. And so I want to talk about your journey. But before we do that, I have one of the best segments in podcasting. It's called What I'm Stepping In, and it's where I share with my audience the sneakers that I have. Y'all know, if y'all been here, I'm a sneakerhead. I love shoes. And so today I am stepping in a pair of Adidas Stan Smith. Now, this is a classic Adidas shoe. It's a classic Adidas silhouette, all white with the green in the back. As you can see, I'm matching. And it's just a classic shoe. I love this shoe. It has its high times. A couple of years, maybe like 8 years ago, it was like the shoe of the summer. Now it's the Samba. But I always have a pair of classic Stan Smiths. Some people, if you're from New York like me, some people like to get them dirty. It's the white sneaker that can be dirty, because in New York, you can't wear no dirty Uptowns or Air Force Ones. But you can wear a dirty Stan Smith. Mine's, as you can see, are super clean because I don't play those games. But I'm stepping into Stan Smith today. You know what I always say, if you like them, go get you some. Trey, tell the people what you're stepping in.
I'm stepping in some leather loafers. It may not be as good as your Stan Smith.
No, it's better. It goes with the flow.
I appreciate that. But yes, I have on some regular leather loafers. These are just, a little place off the internet called Thursday Boots. And they just kind of go with the fit. I just kept it really chill. It's the summertime. It's in the 90s outside. So I felt like it's best. I do not have on a long sock. I have on some no-show socks.
Yes. Teach the people.
Just to have a little ankle out, let it breathe, no big deal.
This guy is so fly, man. I love it. Listen, like we say here at the podcast, if you like them, go get you some. This is what we're stepping in. All right. So Trey, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I really am excited to talk with you because you are someone whose journey I got to see in real time. We were talking a little bit off camera that very few people actually personally know successful content creators and influencers. And so to see your rise in real time has been super dope, super cool. I'll share a story later about some advice that you gave me that you probably don't even remember. But how has it been, growing and rising as an influencer right in front of everyone's eyes?
I think it's been, first of all, I want to say I'm grateful for everything you're saying. And I'm grateful to even have like the relationship with you where you can see that. And it's like, it kind of feels like really comfortable and for people like you where it's like, I haven't seen you in a while, but like, because of the luxury of social media, we can continue to watch each other and like you said, check in. So I really do, I'm appreciative of that. But I think as far as like how it's been, I think that right now it's great. Like it's something that I'm grateful for every single day in my prayers, even the smallest things, because I worked in retail for a long time, even down to like Saturdays. I've always just been, every time that I'm like not in the store on Saturdays, I'm just like, man, I really used to be here every day. My time is really my own time now, and I have the ability to do this. So that's just something I'm like, in addition to what's going on, very grateful for. As far as like with, family, friends, people who I've been around for a long time, it's always good to have those check-ins and be like, bro, I just saw a friend this past weekend that he was like my first friend in college. Wow. And, we saw each other. He was in my wedding and he was just like, man, he was like, bro, like your transformation is insane. And, to hear that, it means more coming from the people who have known you for 10, 12 plus years. And, for him to say that, I think it just, it feels good. It feels good, and it keeps you grounded as well, too.
Absolutely. Speaking about being grounded, did you always want to be famous or known, or did you kind of grow up like, I don't really want the spotlight? Were you popular as a kid? Tell me a little bit about your grounding.
Ooh, you're getting into it now. I will be honest and say that I wasn't a popular kid. I wasn't. I came in Augusta. I think it's like your athletics is really more so things that are put to the top, like being good at a sport. And I think that was like more so what I was trying to rise and do, like trying to play basketball, be good at it. Of course, people wanted me to play football, things of that nature. And so I wasn't as good as maybe other people. So sometimes I think that has to do with your popularity. My personality, I think, is what still had people like gravitate towards me and, and have different relationships in school. As far as like my career path, wanting to be famous, I'm trying to get to a place in life where I'm trying to be more honest with myself in my 30s.
I love that.
And
that's a good place to be.
Just being more honest and just like as you look back over the course of your life, I don't know if I would say I wanted to be famous, but I would say I did know that I wanted some type of degree of status.
Okay.
I will be honest. I did know I wanted status. Yeah. And then like in school, I was interested in like what I was really, my dad always makes this joke. And when he sees us, he'll probably laugh. But he always would say, because I used to get in trouble in school sometimes, like I used to get my card pulled for, just talking in class. And he would tell me sometimes, he'd be like, one day you gonna get paid for talking. But today ain't that day.
Hush.
Hush. And so, that always, is like a precursor to my journey because it sticks with me because I knew that I majored in media studies and broadcast in school. Yeah. So like I always knew at some degree that was going to be something that I wanted to do. I wanted to talk on screen. I had this vision in my mind. I knew I wanted to wear like a suit. I wanted to get to the office. I knew I wanted to show my PowerPoint and stuff like that. That was like as far as I got in like a vision for myself. But I didn't know that this part of the vision was going to exist and he was going to have me set up for that. I did all through high school. I was in theater. So that was something that I tried out and it was ended up being, so I do know.
Do you still act?
In my videos.
Yeah, but like, would you act?
I want to. I want to at some point in my life. I do want to side quest and get into TV.
Yes.
I do want to get into TV, and I think I'm saying it. Do I want to be an actor? I don't necessarily know, but I think it would be some. I think the thing is I don't want to like half but anything I do in my life.
I understand.
So I know how much time that takes, and I would want to put in, and so I think that's the part that's a little scary.
Yeah.
How much time are you willing to put in to make something else happen that you want to happen in your life?
Yeah.
So, yes, at some point I definitely would like to.
Yeah. Well, you're in a position to do almost anything you want, which is both amazing, but also terrifying, I would assume, right?
Yeah,
because you have to, you talk about being more honest with yourself. You have to come face to face with the humanity. I think even for me in the things I'm growing in doing, I'm realizing, I have a little bit of power and I could go some directions that I probably shouldn't go with this, And so it's causing me to have a lot of accountability with myself and with the people around me to kind of check me and pull me in. And I think that there's nobody who's better at that for me than my husband, right? So you being married, I know shout out to Joy. I know your wife. I know Joy. She's a real, she walking like she talk it, right? People may think she's quiet. She's going to tell you what she thinks about things. She's going to tell you what she really thinks about things, Does she ever have to or do you allow her to kind of check some of your decisions or be that second person that's like, I don't know if we should do that? Or is she opinionated about what you do and your brand deals and stuff, or not really?
As far as with brand deals, there's some usually we kind of just agree on. I think that there have been I think a couple that come in where it was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to content, videos, opportunities, we constantly will talk about it, and she will be honest and say, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this from a perspective of your brand, what people may think, but also as your wife. And that's totally valid. I need that because that, Joy has been there for me, in the beginning, she's always believed in me.
Yeah.
And so when you have somebody like that has your best interest and they believe in you, it's like, you know what, if you're telling me this ain't it.
Yeah. And that's on camera and off,
Correct.
There are things that I will tell myself, I think we need to do this and I think I need to do that. And if he's like, no, we don't need to do that. Even if I'm a little annoyed by it, I'd be like, now he hasn't steered you wrong before. So he's not going to steer you wrong this time.
Yeah. And even in twofold, right? I want to say this because there'll be things that I'm not sure about. And she'll be like, you should do this.
Yes.
You should do this. Like, why not? Why, why are you,
what are you afraid of?
What are you afraid of? Or hey, I'm just telling you that you should be doing this. And actually we just talked about something a couple weeks ago and she was like, why? Because lately, I think part of being a creator is doing things that are different, to stay relevant at some degree. And I was talking to her about different about this series that different styling big creator women's husbands.
Okay.
And they this is something that they say
That's
to me all the
dope.
time.
Yeah.
And you had the same reaction. She said, so imagine me styling Jackie Ina's husband or, another big person like her. And I was like, I don't know. I don't even, for me, I'm like, I don't know if because, once you get into it, you unlock a new, new crowd. Yeah. You're like, do I want all that attention? Do I want that attention?
Yeah.
And what's it called? She was like, I think it's a great idea. Why are you not putting more thought into it?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. She's like, okay, well, what is it? What is it you don't know about? And I think that probed me to question myself. Like, okay, well, why don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
we literally had a conversation like that last night about an idea he had for me. you know, what I can't say it on camera yet, but what I shared with you about what's about to happen in our future, not a pregnancy, but but you know, some of the changes that are happening. And he was like, I think this is what you should do with that. And I was just like, I felt insecure. And he was like, why? Why do you feel insecure about that? And what it boiled down to was I was worried about perception. Yeah. How people will perceive that content. And what he helped me understand, because he knows me best, is, oh, you're worried about perception, but you're not thinking about all the benefits of people seeing the journey. And then also, by the way, people can, whatever you want the narrative to be, that's what will make it. Like, what perception? We're going to tell them what to think about you. That's what they're going to think. Just like they do now. And I was like, you're right, you know? So it is really good when you're overthinking something or underthinking something, underdeveloping something, to have a spouse to kind of see you. And similarly, I've always felt extremely supported by my husband in ways that no person in my life before him ever showed up for me. Yeah. So it made it really easy to choose him, because I knew that I would not have to stop choosing myself to be with him. Right. I feel like for people like us, for creative people, you got to be with someone who allows you to fully be you. Yeah. And teaches you when you're being selfish and calls you out when you're, you know, when you need to, but doesn't make you abandon yourself and your dreams to be with them. And I feel like, based on what you just said and based on some of the other stuff I've heard you say and just knowing Joy, I feel like that's what helped you know she was the one. Your parents have been married for 32 years. 32 years, right?
Yeah, 32 years next month, I believe, yeah.
Congratulations to them. What about that marriage, right, helped you to become not just the husband and father you are, but the man? The man that dresses the way you do, the man that shows up the way that you do. What in that marriage did you see that did that for you?
I made a funny comment on a video I made yesterday, but it was basically like, I think like even from just the presentation background, like two things my mom used to always say, like even down to like, you know, you remember when we used to wear our hats to the back or hats to the side, like T.I. And she used to, when I wore my hat like that in the car, she used to always be like, hey, like just wear your hat straight when you're driving. And I was like, why? She was like, no, just wear your hat straight while you're driving, because, you know, you never know who might pull you over. And like, you at least want to appear, you know, not like a problem. But it started that perception of like presentation. And, you know, from there, they just told me how much grooming was important. So if I came downstairs and my teeth was half brushed, or, you know, I had still had sleep in my eyes, or did you brush your tongue good? You know, go back upstairs. And that just instilled how much like self-presentation is just so important for your self-confidence, but also to other people, how you present, because you're saying who you are. And they were really in particular about that in what I saw in their marriage. And I think also like working together as a team, that I saw teamwork a lot. My dad, when my dad and my mom first met, my mom was working at the mall, and then my dad, I forgot what my dad was doing, but my dad has been an entrepreneur for a long time. So for when they met, you know, they were working together. They knew they were going to make this thing work. And as a team, you know, he was like, hey, look, well, we need to be able to make this thing work. So, you know, what do you want? You know, what do you want to do? And my mom wanted to, you know, go to school and do stuff. He's like, okay, well, cool, because I see we're making a plan together. I will pay for you to go to school and, you know, get your degree while I work hard over here, because obviously at this point in time, I'm born. And so while they made that plan together, you know, my mom got her degree, and then obviously she got her a really good job that she's been at for a long time. She works for the government. And so then she has that stability, you know, insurance and stuff like that, you know, in case there are times as being an entrepreneur, you're not able to make the higher amount of money that you always are going to make, because there are always ups and downs. And what I saw in that picture, in that situation, is like this teamwork. And that's always been really important to me, you know, in my marriage, of course, but also just in life. Like, I don't know all the answers. So sometimes I have to call a friend, call a brother, call, you know, a sister, to be like, hey, help me, walk me through this. Help me to still, because we all need help with each other. And I think realizing that you don't need to do this life alone is just so important.
I love that. That's good. You talked about in an interview that I saw about how you don't do a lot of podcasts, but you like to do podcasts because you feel like you want your audience to know who they're following. You want your audience to actually know, you know, the type of person that they're being influenced by. I thought that was really cool. And it made me think of this question. What is something about you that your audience might be surprised to find out?
I don't know if they know this. Maybe you can only know it in some video, but I'm actually extremely goofy and like I like to have a good time. Like, and I actually like legitimately love people.
Yeah.
Like I love people. I'm very social, and I'm probably the definition of an extrovert. So even like,
God bless you. I wish. People think I'm an extrovert.
Yeah. yeah. Sometimes it comes out in different ways for people you know like that. But no, I mean, I can talk, I can make conversation with the wall, you know, but I think that the hardest part in time to do that is how can I make this transfer on screen? And I think the reason why I said in that interview, I want them to know more about me is because I think that there's a path that you take and there is so much of a way that you can make this be seen on screen, but still not, because I've always been professional. That's just how I was raised. So I want to still put personality into it, but I also want to still give you value because I'm so big on like just value and how can I help men? How can I help my audience? How can I reach them in the best way possible and to help them to be positive, to help them to be confident. And sometimes, you know, I'm as social media is leaning more towards connection. I'm like trying to figure out, okay, how can I connect with them more in this while still educating them at the same time and also entertaining them, giving them, you know, edutainment. You know?
Yep. I think about your journey and all the different things that you've done on social media. I remember when you were on the treadmill for that trend and transitions trend and all the different things and kind of weathering the tide through COVID, the big C, as some people call it.
The big C.
You know, weathering that storm, weathering social unrest in our country, political stuff, but still making content about fashion and trying to navigate, okay, how do I not promote consumerism, but how do I also show people, you know, all these different things that I feel like you've navigated. I want you to speak to the influencer who is, you know, coming up, trying to make content, navigating all, because now you're, you know, you may not agree with this, but now you're kind of above that. You know, people kind of just, it's true, accept it. It's kind of like, you know, there's a few of y'all that just could do whatever. And we're like, we love it. Thanks. Give us more. And that's, you work to get into that spot. So don't feel, you know, you work to get there. But when you were navigating that where literally you could do something and it could get you canceled, it could really mess you up. You know what I mean? If it was taken the wrong way, how did you navigate that terrain to still keep climbing and growing to get to where you are now?
I would say the thing that comes immediately to mind is positivity. Positivity, just because I've always came from the perspective of if I can help you to have a better day, then it's better than, because there's a lot going on in the world. And
and it always will be.
And it always will be. You know, I've had conversations with my family about this, and that one thing I've always been big about is protecting my brain and my mental health. Because sometimes, you know how you can get bogged down by so much information during COVID, during, you know, different situations in the world. And it could jack up everything you got going on in your purpose. And it's not saying that I don't care. I do care. But I still do have my own purpose and mission. And I mean, if I can, just like there are comedy creators, there are different creators that do stuff. If you still got to go to work, you still got to walk out of your house and with your head high. You still got to figure out what you're going to wear to this date because you trying to find your wife. So if I say, you know what, today I'm going to give you some hard news, blah, 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 and I'm not going to do it. Now I'm stopping you from your journey. You know, and I want you to feel like you want to come, and especially not only like just men of all ages, but like young men too. Because I don't want to if I start talking about politics and stuff like that, not only will that sometimes alienate me from, you know, being able to reach certain people. But also you got some fans who are guys who follow me who are 13, 14, 15, and 16, where they're showing literally, hey, dad, or hey, mom, can you buy me this? Trey Bryant said this looks good. This one I wear to school. And so now they know that, and I want and I almost like want their parents to be okay with them following me too.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, and so many times it's happened in two different situations. Recently, I was in the mall with Joy, and I went to the bathroom. And so this kid walks past me in the bathroom. We're at the urinals, and he's like, you're that guy on TikTok that makes fashion, right? I'm like, yeah. And this is in the bathroom. We're at the urinals. And he's like, can we take a picture? We're still at the bathroom at the urinals. And I'm like, bro, you're a kid. And saying this and we're in the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, let's walk out here. We walk out there. His dad is right there. And his dad is like, he's like, hey, dad, this is a guy I follow on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And I have to get into my father mode because I'm a father too. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? Boom, 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 whatever. And I realized in those moments, this is how this impacts his day. Yeah. This is how this impacts his day. His dad now is like smiling because he's like, okay, now I maybe want to know what you are posting because this is influencing my child. Yep. And for me, I really, even a kid. I was at I think a couple years ago, I was at a men's retreat for the Path, and a kid comes up to me in the cafeteria. And he's like, hey, I tell my dad about how to dress all the time because of your videos. Randomly, we're all sitting down. This is like 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And he's like, I tell my dad how to dress from your videos all the time. This kid is like a teenager in high school. Yeah. And so I realized in each of those times, I'm like, this is a lot of weight to carry, which I'm totally fine with doing that. But based on how I just don't want to, I want there to be entertainment, happiness, and positivity when you come and see my content.
Yeah, and that's definitely felt. I think your page feels fun. It feels informative. I think it's something that as a woman you could send to your significant other without them feeling like you're trying to come at them. It's also funny. So I think you're doing a really good job of spreading joy in your message. And I think a cool thing about it for you, you don't hide the fact that you're a Christian, but you also don't lead with it every second, right. And I think that that's really cool, especially for the type of content you do, because it allows you to show your lifestyle. Everyone knows you're married. They know you have children, but it's not in every single video. You're able to keep, I would assume, some level of privacy by making your content about what it's about. Yeah. We're in a season and an era in terms of content creation where people are no longer being encouraged to niche down. They're like, make your videos about whatever you want to make them about and see where the chips fall. I have my feelings about that. It's not good or bad. It just is.
What is it? For you, I'm just curious. What is it?
So my feeling is I feel like niching down makes sense if what you're doing is a niche. So I'm a talker. My whole brand is me talking. Right. That's not a niche because I could talk about anything. Correct. Right. Yeah. But if I was doing fashion, I want to talk about fashion. You know what I mean? Like I think about the people I follow like Janae Naylor or Jeronica Mycia or, you. When I come to your page, I really don't want to hear you giving me a scripture. I just don't. Now, when I go to Brenda Palmer's page or Sarah, Jakes Roberts' page, I would like to see that. And I'm also okay if they show me a get ready with me.
Yeah, okay.
I'm okay with that. But I'm kind of coming to you for, I don't know if people come to my page specifically for scriptures. I think they come more for inspiration. I may talk about a scripture. I may talk about relationships. I may talk about whatever. Right. But I don't think people come to my page, they don't really care about a get ready with me, even though if people see me, they know I puts it on. You know what I'm saying? Right, you know what I mean? Right. But I just think that it depends on the creator and what you are known for, what you want to be known for. But with you having a niche, and having to film and do things that speak directly to a certain topic, do you ever feel boxed in by that?
A little bit, sometimes. I think it's self-imposed sometimes because, like you said, so I will say that, like, a couple things about what you said, right? Right now, they are opening up for you to talk about different things. In my own personal humble opinion, talk about different things around what it is that are more core to you.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, right, is like, for instance, I came across this girl's video yesterday, and she was doing all this, and her videos are really good, but she was doing an analyzation about people's brand and personal brands. And I really love when people talk about like personal brands, about like what stuff means in the media and stuff like that.
Who you watch and who you listen to.
And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, like, this is dope. And then I went down like several posts, and I found like other posts that were still like that one, right? And those posts also did well. They got great engagement on them, and they were interesting. If I follow her and she starts talking about something completely different, this is not the reason that I'm here. Yeah. And which would end up me unfollowing her, which most people would do. Yeah. Fashion is the thing that I've always talked about online. I'm totally, even no matter what I do in 10 years, I always want to be known as the fashion guy. Yeah. I did a TV show last year, and when I was on TV show, I still told them, I was like, hey, look, I don't care what it is. I still always want to be known as a fashion guy. And my reasoning for that is because that's a talent. That's a talent that Kevin Hart.
Dressing well is a talent, for sure.
Yeah, Kevin Hart, Will Smith, Michael B. Jordan. They may not, I don't know who dresses them, but I know somebody does dress them. But the thing for me is I dress myself, and I can dress other people too. So, and I can teach other people what it means, why you have that on and why it looks good. Yeah. That's my thing. And so I don't ever want anybody to take that away. And like the reason that broke me through to be able to talk about other things, but I also like talking about the male lifestyle and men's lifestyle. Yeah. And that's what allows me to talk about grooming, talk about fragrance, talk about, and you know, I've talked about travel, talk about all these different things, because fashion is multidimensional. Yeah. And so I think that you should talk about whatever it is that is your core. Fashion is my core. Once you break through to a point where your core is not only the reason people follow you, is because I know people follow me for fragrance. Yeah. Then I think it's okay to start talking about other things, but don't veer too far off. Like you said, it's a really good example. It's like, if I come here to get motivation from you, if I come here to get fashion tips from you, I'm not coming here to get a scripture. There's several other accounts for that. How can I stand out?
That's good. That's really, really good. You talked about breaking through, and I'm wondering, you know, as you were on your journey, on your climb, was there a specific moment where you thought, oh, it's gone. I'm about to go up. Like, can you remember something specific that happened that gave you that feeling?
You know, I still operate from an underdog mentality. Like there's still ground to cover. It's just, there is. It's just part of just like growing up and like prioritizing like sports first. And I think that once you chose to be like an art kid or do something different, and you may not be as athletic, or you maybe have hoop dreams and you don't live up to those hoop dreams. It's like, dang, well, I still need to be better in this. I still need to be, I'm not the coolest kid. And I think that that's what still keeps me grounded, but also at the same time makes me always feel like there's still much things to get better. To other people, maybe they may feel like I broke through. I think that there have been some really cool things that have put me into position that I've been like, I have to sit and be like, wow.
Tell me one.
I think that one of the coolest ones, like two really cool things, and they happened really early on. And I didn't even realize until I talk about them. Now, when I tell you them, you're probably gonna be like, nigga, what? Like that happened? But like it was. So in 2022, when Joy was pregnant with William, our oldest son, that summer was a crazy summer. The first thing that happened that summer is I did a deal with BET.
I remember that.
Yeah, BET. They flew me up to New York, and I did a kind of like a pod interview. I forgot the young lady's name that I did the interview with, but they basically wanted me to talk about giving tips to creators. And this was in 2022. I wasn't in nearly as, I think, large in my following as I am now. And it was just cool. Like it was something that they put, I think it was for Juneteenth. It was a Juneteenth thing. And I thought that was like so cool. You know, I met a whole bunch of people from BET, the production. I saw like how it is set up. It was just, that was when I was like, wow, like I really could do this and do this on a different level than
Yeah.
just like making videos. It's much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, I think a month or a couple weeks later, I did a deal with Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And on the deal with Walmart in 2022, that summer, I interviewed. I don't know why they asked me to interview him and as a part of the deal, but they wanted me to make content interview Deion Sanders. So I was just like, okay,
What?
cool. This is crazy. And of course, like for me, because I'm like you, I'm a talker, and we rise to the occasion.
Yep.
And it's like, what do I need to do? Okay, cool. But it was crazy that happened. And that's when I started being like, these are not just deals that some of my colleagues are just getting. This is a deal that was custom made for me.
Favor.
And that was when I started being like, wow, like I could maybe be something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's we all have those moments, and we have more and more of them as time goes on. I feel like it's God's confirmation to tell us like, yeah, I'm really with you, and you're really different. And not different as in better, just different as in mine.
Yeah.
Like there are opportunities that I get that people who've been doing things, and this has happened to me on the music side of my career, because for me, my hoop dreams were music industry dreams.
Right.
For me. But even in that, God gave me a lot of success there. And then when I was, ready to pivot and try something different, this had also been a dream of mine. It's been a dream of mine to be a talk show host my whole life. I was watching Ricky Lake and Jenny Jones and Maury and all the things. Love it.
Yeah.
And then he started to give me very quick success here in certain ways. And I had to realize like, man, I think sometimes God knows that some of us need to be shown that we can do this quickly or else we'll move on. I don't know if you're like that, like me. I need to be shown quickly that something good, because other than that, I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, well, God, what else do you have for me? Because this is not working, Yeah. Now, some of that is a patience thing I need to work on.
But no, it's human. It's human. It makes sense.
Yeah. And so I feel like he shows people sometime relatively early on that, hey, this is working and you should keep going, work harder.
You know what it's like?
Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like the preview showing you that the movie's going to be good. Like I promise, if you come to the movie, it's good. This is the previews.
Yeah.
Now, this is the previews I'm showing you.
Yeah.
Now, after that, I'm going to snatch it back.
Yeah.
And now we're not going to come out to 2026, 2027, 2028. But you got to be ready when the movie drops.
It's giving Game of Thrones because it's coming out in 2 years. Let me ask you this, and I think this is super important. I already know the answer, but people think that going viral is easy. People think that becoming a brand is luck. People think that these things only happen for certain people, but you and I both know it is hard work. My father used to say when I was growing up, no one who got to the top of the mountain got there without climbing. So whether you think they deserve to be there or not, whether you think it's some rapper who can't, this when I was in the music industry, they can't even rap as good as me. They're up there and everyone knows them. They didn't just get dropped there. And guess what? If they did just get dropped there, they're not going to last because they won't be able to withstand the elements.
Right.
So you as someone who literally we have watched climb to the proverbial top of social media. Most people's goal is to have 1 million followers or to go viral several times. You've done that twice over. You've gone viral several times. What are some of the lessons that you learned? Some of the climbing, right? Some of the bruises, some of the hardships that you would tell someone who wants to be on this journey to be prepared for?
That's good. I actually have several. I would say I'm going to try to break them up into different categories, right? So first I'll start with the mental behind going viral. Going viral, it's dope. Like it does feel good, but you have to think about it like this, right? The pros to going viral is that it's like a dopamine hit. You feel good. You're popping. You open the app to, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, or whatever, and you see 100 new followers, 100 new likes, 100 comments. And it's just like, it's a dopamine hit, and it's in its form of a drug. It feels really good because people are validating you because we're human at the end of the day.
And you want to be seen, and they see you.
And they see you. They're commenting. They're saying different stuff. You see your following increasing. So and then you're also you feel validated because this piece of content that came from your mind that you created is being validated by social media, the platform itself. This is good. Yeah. Just like God said, this is good. Yeah. Like it's Instagram saying this is good content, you know. And so it's this overwhelming, really good experience, and you feel that, right? On the flip side, from the mental, you are getting all this right from this post. Or it could be from 3 of your most recent posts. But realizing that if once you do post something new and it doesn't hit that same way, you don't feel hot anymore. It affects your confidence a little bit. You don't want to, you're like, you start overthinking what you're doing. You don't feel as successful. You don't feel, you know, it's a little bit of depression that comes from it a little bit too sometimes, because you're like, how do you handle these feelings? On the other part, what I tell a lot of people is you have to be, if you want to go viral, you have to be ready for what's going to come, because you have to understand, right? When you are posting something, only a core few people are really seeing it, you know, especially if you get your regular numbers or you're reaching a new audience every time, right? When it comes to short form content. When you go viral, it is showing it to a plethora of new people who know nothing about you. Know nothing about you. And what you say in that piece of content, they may be, the reason you're going viral is because they've never seen anything like this before. And they don't know how to react to what it is. So they're going to find everything in the world if it triggers them. If I'm telling someone, stop dressing like a bum. Okay. And that was my first hook of my video. Yeah. All they're thinking about is, you told me I look like a bum. 2 weeks ago, this girl who broke up with me told me I'm a bum. Now I'm going to find something in your video, whether it's a speck on your face, a pimple, the way your shoulders look, to say, no, I'm not the bum. You're the bum. Something's wrong with you. Or anything, because they're trying to find something out of how they're feeling to put you down. And you got to be ready mentally for whatever they're finna say. Yeah. And understand that it's just them coming with something they're trying to say. Yeah. That is the mental. I think after that, right, from being just a creator, you should not just want to go viral. One of the things, I've gone viral, and I also have just gotten videos that have done well. Yeah. Consistently over time. Yeah. But the thing is about going viral is, if you go viral so many times, you don't know who your audience is anymore. You don't know how to serve them. You don't know what they're looking for. Even if I do fashion, it could get to a certain point where I don't know what pieces of fashion they're really looking for, that they really want to see, because the audience is so mixed up. So scattered. It's so scattered. And the thing is, like we talked about this earlier, we're getting to a point where it's a time to, especially I would say where I'm at, it's time to cultivate the audience. But I can't cultivate anyone I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what they're really looking for. And that's why, like, if you think of yourself like a business says, oh, this is my mission statement. We help these type of people. I want to reach this type of person. Yeah. This is my avatar. I don't know who my avatar is based on my videos being so broad and reaching different people, which I love that. But over a certain time, I don't know what my idea is. Is this going to hit this person? Yeah. Is this going to hit this person? And it can be a little bit daunting. Yeah. And you have to figure out, are you okay with that? Yeah. Are you okay with it sometimes affecting your engagement rate and your engagement rate going down? You know, not that your content is bad, but just that your audience may not feel it. And the algorithm is going to shift you to a different person. Yeah. And so you just have to, I would honestly venture to say that don't put too much stock into going viral. Put stock into your videos doing well. Yeah.
What does doing well look like to you?
I would say it's an outlier. So on YouTube, right, if you have like vidIQ or something like that, it'll show you, or Google Chrome extension, it'll show you like as far as like long form, it'll show you what videos for people are outliers. Outliers could be if you have 50,000 followers and your video gets 100,000 views. That's an outlier video. So if you focus on getting outlier videos that show you, okay, I need to make more of this. And then once you make more of this and it keeps showing you, okay, these keep doing well, then that means I need to continue to do videos like this.
That's good. How much do you think about the algorithm?
A lot. Every day. Every day. I think about it every day. I think about, like, I rack my brain because now on edits, you know, I'm sure you're familiar with edits. You can see your watch time on Instagram. I look at the stats all the time, the shares. I look at interviews with, you know, the CEO, the president of Instagram about what he said. But obviously, this is my business, this is my life. So I have to, but like what I've committed to, and like I was kind of telling you about this earlier off camera, was for a while I was like, okay, I need to build something else. I need to build another business, something. And I stole those style guides for a while last year. And I kind of racked my brain on what was the next thing I wanted to do. And I got to a point where I'm like, I really just want to focus on how can I make the best videos possible, because videos is what got me here.
Yep.
Focus on what's got you here. Yeah. If you look at any creator who's
tried to do something
different, or they've gotten to a point where I think how a lot I got a partner that says this, they've reached their stratosphere. They're gone. They're through the roof. It's from their videos. You talked about Tabitha Brown earlier. It's her videos. Jackie Aina, Kev on Stage. It's their videos.
100%.
You can't, when you're a creator, you cannot stop making the videos. Yeah. Mr. Beast is the most highest paid creator and probably in the world, and has the most views and following biggest in the world. He doubles down on his videos. Even if he has other projects, the videos can't stop.
Yeah.
So if I can figure out how can I make the best videos for me, that's what I'm focused on right now. And I'll be able to create, as I'm still creating what that brand of videos is, you know, and still shaping it, forming it. Because I kind of still have my style, but shaping it, forming it, you know, and how it looks. Then as I grow, I'll be like, hey, all right, this is the Trey Bryant DNA. Yeah. This is how we edit it. This is how we get it to look. This is what my audience is going to look for me on. And then as we grow from there, then I can maybe focus on TV or focus on acting or something like that, because I know I got to show up and still film.
Yeah, you just answered a question for me that I didn't even ask you. I was thinking about, because for me, I'm, you know, my biggest content is talking head, right? I sit in front of that art that you can see right there. That's not on camera, so y'all can't see it, but I sit in front of that and I talk. I'll sit in my car and I talk. If I'm early somewhere or waiting for someone, I'll pull up my camera in my car and share my thoughts and feelings. I have a note. This is free game for some of y'all. Everyone should be doing this if you're a creator, but when ideas pop in my head, I write them in my notes app, and as I do them, I check them off. And so I have my notes app, and I say, okay, what videos haven't I made? What topics haven't I made? Whether it be something I'm studying out spiritually or just something somebody in my life did that I was like, that was dumb, and I have thoughts about it. You know, so yes, I do use y'all for content.
Got to. I do too.
I'm like, if one person thinks that this okay, other people might, and it's not. So we should talk about it. And then I use myself. I use myself more than I use anybody else. My own life lessons. But I'm realizing that I need to double down on those talking head videos, because that's what people want to see. Like when I be trying to do vlogs and all sorts of stuff, it falls a little flat. And I think one of the reasons it falls flat is not because it's not good, right? We're going to make sure the editing is good and all that. But I'm not as passionate. But when, like, I made a video the other day where I was talking about as single women, single Christian women, because that's who I talk to mostly, but single women, period, that when you're praying about all these deep spiritual things for a husband, make sure you pray about some of the shallow things too. And it's doing better than my videos have done in a while. I've reached, and I'm sure you've been here before, you can kind of go viral and do really, really well, and then your videos kind of plateau a little bit for a while, and then and I'm cool with that. I'm just gonna keep making the videos, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the video is doing kind of well, and last night my husband was like, "That video is doing pretty well. What do you think the difference is?" And I said, "I'm passionate about what I'm talking about. People can tell.
They can feel it.
People can tell when this is just a lesson that you've learned and you think it's good to share, and when you're passionate about. I'm passionate about praying for the things that I wanted, because I prayed so specifically about my husband that sometimes I just have to laugh. I prayed for God to give me a man from Brooklyn while I was in the dead of Atlanta in the middle of a pandemic. He's from Brooklyn. You know, when I went and looking for rings, I was like, I really like this ring, but I really would like it to be a carat and a half bigger. You know what I mean? The one he ended up getting me was a carat and a half bigger. Like,
that's fine.
Very specific things, very, very, very specific things I've prayed about with my spouse that God answered. So I like to tell single women, don't just be up here praying, oh Lord, give me a man that loves you and give me a man. No, pray for what you want, because them shallow things become very deep when you're not getting them in a marriage, right? And I think that did well because it was something I'm passionate about. So hearing you say, and duh, right? I see this every day. People like Kev on Stage, who I admire greatly. Tabitha Brown, who I admire greatly. People like you, people like Mr. Beast. If y'all, Jackie Ina, still making videos on TikTok every day, why do I think I can post once a week? There's no. So yeah, you got me together. It's all right. You don't have to say no more.
No, but in the same right, you did the same thing with me. Yeah. Be more specific with your prayers. It's actually crazy. While you were talking, I was just like, dang, like you're right. Like, why am I when I sit up here, for me, like, obviously, you say your prayers for your family, and stuff like that. You want to increase in your life, but even in your business, right? It's crazy because you were just saying about like you specifically prayed for all those things with your husband. And I don't think I'm being specific enough in my prayers with my career. I say that I want to reach men. I want to stay creative. I say very surface level things in my prayers about but it's like, if you really are passionate about something, what is it? Like, God, give me a business idea that's going to revolutionize and change, what I'm trying to do. Give me, God, I want to get into TV. Get me a TV job, like have me where I have a card in my hand, and I'm able to wear suits. And it's like, what do you want God wants to know what I got from you is, what do you want your life to look like? And be specific about it. So that you just inspired me. I'm just like, man, I need to be more specific.
I have prayed very specifically about my life, my career, and God is constantly answering those prayers. And something that you said to me in 2019, we were at a Bible discussion. Shout out to our boy Trav. We were at Trav's house. And I had said something, and afterward you were like, hey, do you have TikTok? And I was like, yeah, I have TikTok, and you were like, you need to start talking on TikTok. And I really didn't take it that seriously. But when I tell you, when God has something for you to do, it'll haunt you. It'll don't get too crazy about the word haunt, Lord, these people, Trey, listen, these people will be on my neck about every little thing. That's demonic. I'm like, listen, relax, okay? It will stay with you.
It'll stay with you.
Okay, it'll stay with you. And I would hear your words. I would hear your words ring in my head. You need to do on TikTok. You need to be on Instagram. Lish, you need to be telling people yourself. You need to. And every time we were running to each other here or there, I'd be like, bro, I remember what you said. Because I wanted you to know I heard you, because I'm a person who gives a lot of advice. Yeah. And I'm not this way at all anymore. I've actually changed a whole lot. When someone I respect tells me to do something, I usually do it within 48 hours. If someone I respect says, you should read this book, you should listen to this podcast, you should. But I learned I got that from not listening to you. From not taking your advice. I realized, when someone who is successful at something, someone who is even passionate, because you weren't anywhere near where you are now, but when someone suggests something and they're already doing it, you need to at least take their advice. And so you saying that to me really did plant a seed. And I want to give you your flowers. I've told you this in private. I've told your wife this. But it really did plant a seed for me to say, no, this is something that you could be good at. And it is something that eventually, you could potentially do full time. And so it's really an honor for me to have you on the couch, because a large part of the reason why this is even happening, honestly, is because you were like, listen, you should do this. And it took me a while. It took me a little minute to get consistent, but I got consistent. And so I just want to thank you for pouring into me that day in that small way, and telling me the vision that you saw for me, in this way.
I appreciate that. And I think that also, give yourself grace, because even though you did say that, there's a lot always going on. And sometimes you may not see it for yourself, and you may not be ready to see it for yourself. Social media is a hard thing to do, Lish, like, you can tell a whole bunch of people all the time, like, I want you to pull out your phone. I want you to make videos about this specific thing. That's not easy to do. It's just not. And I just knew you had the talent when we were in those studies and we would all be hanging out. And even at church, I'm like, yo, when she talks, people listen. not everybody has the gift to talk, and people like stop and listen.
Yeah.
And the way to form words, the way that you put a message, you make it almost into imagery, you inspire people. I think that when I'm saying, when I said that to you back then, it was just like, yo, I'm on here making videos. You should be too. I mean, like, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like you talk better than me. so it's like, come on, you know. But I mean, I at the end of the day, no, I totally get it and I appreciate it though.
Yeah. I appreciate you being here for sure. There's so many other things that I wanted to ask you, but in the interest of time, two things. Mm-hmm. One, you know, you have your specific content about fashion, but you alluded to listening to and following influencers who talk about business and kind of helping you build the brand. If there are people out here who are listening, which there are, who need to be inspired to become an influencer but get their business right, you know, who are some of the people that you listen to? And I'll name some of mine too, but are there any YouTubers you watch, any people that you follow on Instagram who, you know, you want to encourage people to listen to?
Yeah, I think a big one that Joy actually put me on that I follow a lot now is Diary of a CEO. Mm-hmm. He talks about so many different things, business, future, mm-hmm. Things that you should be concerned about, and just how to build, you know, business in general. So I really, really like his podcast and just him in general. Brian Johnson talks about a lot about like health and sleep, and how just because in the last few years I've really diving into like running and fitness, and it was more just like lifting, but now it's more so like fitness lifestyle and recovery. And I've just seen like how we can really, because the thing is, people, I was big on this whole thing where people were like, you got to work. You that whole alpha male movement, like you got to work, you got to grind, you got to wake up at 4 a.m. But it's really not about that, especially when you become a grown man with responsibilities in the family. And it's about working smarter, not harder. And I think about like, you do need to think about your immortality, your health, you know, just stuff like that. So I follow him. I follow some. I can't. Of course, I follow Kev. Kev gives incredible advice. Yes. I liked how he's, you know, aside from being funny, he's even just giving inspirational content now that he makes. And I think that that's a way that like, kind of like what you said earlier, like he's a person that we all respect. Yeah. And he's doing it every day. Yep. So it's like, you don't have to be funny. You can just be inspirational sometimes too. And real. So, real. Vulnerable, and so I really like, you know, him especially when he makes those videos. I would say, there's a couple business channels I go by, but it's more so like I like a lot of stuff about branding. I follow like a couple like Asian guys that like talk about like branding, like the difference between like premium. This video I saw the day, the difference between premium and luxury. Apple is premium, and then Rolex is luxury. Certain hotels are premium, and this is luxury. Gotcha. And how you build your brand to look. I've followed different people who talk about. And these, I can't think of the accounts because a lot of times I just save these videos, but like I'm really into like shaping your narrative and your brand. And that like you said this earlier, you choose to show the narrative of who you are and what you want that to be. And I really, really think that like Will Smith is one of the most underrated, inspirational people on this earth. Yes. Because like, have you ever read his book?
Yes, I did. And him and Jada's.
Yeah. I've been meaning to read Jada's, but like when he talked about how he was, when you control things, how you're building your brand and how he wanted to be like Tom Cruise. And he said, Tom Cruise is doing what? So this even from picking the movies that he wanted to pick, because he wanted to control
when they came out.
And when they came out.
Weekends and
he controlled the narrative about how he was building his brand. Yeah. And I think that's really big. Like you as a person, you control your narrative. You control how people are going to look and perceive you. And, you know, I've always kept that in mind. And it's like, honestly, I do enjoy wearing suits. But honestly, that's why but I like wearing stuff like this, like very casual. But the reason I wear it is because I want you to perceive me as like this, like a businessman. Yeah. So because that's how it's a part of the brand. Yeah. Sneakers are a part of your brand. So it's like they'll always remember that, Liv.
Yeah.
Sneakers are a part of her brand.
Shout out to our girl Liv, just living. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it makes sense, and it's a part. It's really its association.
Yeah, I love that. That's really good. I'll give a few really quick. Jade Beastman, I like a lot on YouTube. Trey Roberts with his podcast, The Called Podcast, is a podcast for entrepreneurs. Fire. And this guy named Ali Abdal, who I really like.
Yep, I know about him.
He's so different than anybody else that I watch, to the point where I'm like, why do I like him so much? Yeah. But it just speaks to me. He's about productivity, but not in a weird way. You know what I mean? Not like in a work 4 a.m. kind of thing. Yeah. But just about getting the best out of yourself. Obviously, we got some OGs, people that you named, other people. But I think it's really cool to have so much content. So I'll say this really quickly for my content creators. Everything you need to know is online. You've probably already watched it, binged it, taken notes, taken seminars, taken classes. Just start.
Yep.
Just start.
Start and be consistent.
Start and be consistent. Start with what you have, be consistent, and it'll take you a long way. We ask a final question here at the podcast. And that question is, in the grand scheme of things, what do you want your legacy to be?
In the grand scheme of things, I would like my legacy to be, I would like it to be someone who makes a difference and makes the world better when it comes to men and how men love, how men present themselves, and brotherhood. Because I think that we all really stick together and we feel confident with how we present ourselves to each other. I think that we can help the world be a better place as leaders. Because I think as you lead, you have to kind of have a certain, you have to have community. You have to have provision. You have to have the sensibility and emotional intelligence to understand other people. And I think that if we can create confident men that are emotionally intelligent in the world, that are, also like intelligent and smart, I think that we can help the world be a better place.
I love that. Well, you're well on your way, and congratulations on all the success. I'm looking forward to all that God is going to continue to do in your life. Is there anything you want your audience to know, anything they should be looking out for? And tell anyone who might be hiding under a rock somewhere where to follow you.
Well, that's hilarious. Everybody can follow me at Trey Bryant Style on any platform. And I just want you to always know, just be the best version of yourself. Be 1% better every day. And before you walk out the door, you're thinking about just putting on a hoodie and some sweats, just put on some trousers instead and a nice polo, because it'll make you feel more confident, and put on some fragrance too.
I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Trey Bryant here at the I'll Just Let Myself In podcast with your girl, Lish Speaks. Again, this is the podcast where we don't wait for an imaginary permission slip or some seat at an imaginary table. We walk through our God-given doors. And if this is your first time here, I know that it won't be your last. Make sure that you share this with a friend. Tell them what we got going over here. If you are a frequent flyer, go ahead and subscribe. We would love to have you here permanently. Give us a review, write a comment. Let people who may be looking at this for the first time know how much it is helping you and changing your life. If you've listened on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM channel 140, Monday nights Eastern Standard Time, we thank you for listening there. If you've watched on Holy Culture's YouTube, we thank you for watching there. If you are on my YouTube, Lish Speaks, we thank you for watching here. And we'll see you again next week for another one. Peace.
Don't bring no drama my way. Don't bring no drama my way.